Hi there, Sandra here from Creating Spain, and today I wanted to give you the settings for jar engraving, glass jars like this, on the XTool S1 20-watt version. If you've got a different version of it, you can adjust the speed and power accordingly. But this is what I have found to work and how I get it to work on the S1. Now, before I go through the settings, just let me explain my setup. I'm in Europe and I have a riser on my S1, but the riser on the European version is different, and it only has one level where you can put the honeycomb. So where I would normally put the honeycomb is way too high for doing a glass jar. What I discovered is the easiest way of doing it. I've got 3 ceramic tiles stacked up upside down. It has the advantage of it's fairly rough, so things don't roll quite as easily anyway. And I just put a couple of scraps either side of my jar and it would go on like so. Now obviously I can't do it when the jar is transparent, so what I used as a paint, and I have tried I have tried the very sort of cheap children's paints. I have tried acrylic, I have tried various pens, and none of the pens do it properly. And I ended up with the chalk paint. Now I ended up with black because I was a little bit reluctant to try white just in case it wasn't opaque enough. I would probably prefer white, but I got black. And this I got from my local Chinese store, Artix brand, and it's chalk paint, 100ml, and it was €2.75. So all I did was I painted the jar. So in order to paint the jar, because I don't like cleaning brushes, I use this stuff. This is a fake magic eraser. So all I did was pull a piece off, get a pair of tweezers to hold it, ta-da, and you can keep your fingers nice and clean, and you literally put some paint on it and just do that. 2 coats was all I needed. Dry it in between coats, and it was thoroughly and totally matte. I held it up to my light window, couldn't see through it at all, because every other time I have tried this, I have found that either it hasn't worked at all, or it's engraved on the inside of the jar, which is not what I want. So this is the first time I've got it to really work. Now I tried it on 3 different settings for the glass, and I used a power 75 and a speed of 100 on this one. Now for whatever reason this one jumped. Now bearing in mind I do not have the rotary tool, so I was just putting it like that still. I don't quite know what happened there. It could well be that the paint, because that was the edge where I had finished doing the painting, could be the paint wasn't thoroughly on there at that edge. So I did 75 and a speed of 100. I did 100 for each, and then I did 100 power, 75 speed, and I think that one probably came out the best. It's very, very smooth. You can't really feel much. It's not rough at all. You could use this one. I think possibly that one isn't quite a high enough power, but you know, materials vary. And if you're doing it on something else like a wine glass, you probably don't want to up the power to 100. You might want to take the power down a little bit more, or put the speed up so that your glass doesn't get too hot. But for jars, this seemed to work quite well, and so I'm glad to have got that tested. And now I can find various other things to put under the laser. Nothing is going to be safe. Okay, that's it for today. I'll see you soon. Take care now.